Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the City of Cambridge 2025 Outstanding Employee Awards. This is a wonderful day, obviously, in the city's calendar, and it's great to have so many people here this morning. I want to start off by welcoming all the award recipients this morning, and also I wanted to welcome their families and indeed their friends. You know, the City of Cambridge is a wonderful city, and indeed to work in the city is an enormous privilege. But the city is also a very demanding city in terms of performance by employees. We generally think about working between 8:30 and 5 p.m. Every day, but for most of us, there's a lot more hours involved in working in the city. And indeed, if you're not here present, you're thinking about the city all the time. And so that has a toll on families, and it has a toll on friends, as well as the people who work here. And so it's important that we recognize the contribution families make to what it is to actually be such a great city, to have such great employees, and to have so much great performance by employees in the city. So it's important that we recognize families as part of the ceremony as well. And so for those of you who are here with your partners and friends this morning, just say thank you again to you. So thank you. So as I said at the outset, this is generally a relatively long ceremony. It's a relatively long and enjoyable ceremony, and so I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'm going to introduce Mayor Simmons in a few seconds, but before I do so, Mayor Simmons, she's rather strict on Mondays in terms of people clapping, hollering, or cheering in the audience. But this is not Monday, this is Friday. So cheering, hollering, and clapping is encouraged today. And so with that, let me hand you over to Mayor Simmons to introduce, or to bring City Welcome to everybody and to introduce her colleagues. Mayor Simmons.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Thank you for throwing me under the bus, and I will wipe the tire tracks off my face. But very seriously, those of us that work for the City of Cambridge, we give it all, 365 days of the year, and it's hard work. It's like my favorite line in, what is it called? A League of Their Own, where Tom Hanks says to, I can't think of the young lady's name right now, someone else knows it. He says, it's hard work, and it's supposed to be hard, otherwise everybody would do it. But everybody doesn't do it. Very special people do it. And we're here to acknowledge very special people that do it every day. So let me start by saying congratulations. Before I open by introducing my colleagues and surfers, I have to do my signature greeting. My colleagues know what it is. They're probably tired of it, but they won't tell me. I'm going to say good morning, and you can use your outside voices and say great morning. Do we have it? We don't have to practice, right? Okay. Good morning. Great morning. Fabulous. It is a great morning because we are here to acknowledge, lift up, applaud great individuals, those who have chosen that job, and that is the job of working for the City of Cambridge. No better job. I was just saying to Ian the other day, would he work anywhere else? He says, absolutely not. When I was 5 years old, in preschool, I said, I want to work for the City of Cambridge, and I'm so glad he is here. But very seriously, it is a great morning, and before I go into my remarks, let me just take a moment to acknowledge my colleagues. Councilor and former Mayor Siddiqui, our newest councilor, Councilor Kathy Zuzi, my colleague Patricia Nolan, and my colleague Jeevan Sobrina Wheeler. Today we come together for an event that holds a very special place in my heart. As a former city employee, and I just got to say this to Jeevan while I have him here, I never got this award. I just want you to write that down. And I worked really hard. And I don't care if you weren't the city manager at the time. But anyway, very seriously, it's an occasion where we pause and we reflect and honor extraordinary, extraordinary individuals. Each of you, your dedication, your passion, your unwavering commitment, that truly brings Cambridge to life. And it's because of you our communities thrive. Like every city across the country, Cambridge is built on departments and offices and organizational structures. But what truly distinguishes us is what genuinely sets Cambridge apart. And it's you. It's your remarkable dedication and your passion and your talent. Something that you show every day as our, not only employees, but team, member of this wonderful thing we call the Cambridge family. You know, when I walk through City Hall or visit departments through Cambridge, I am always impressed by the professionalism of our over 2,000 Cambridge employees. What you bring to your role every day, and particularly what you did during those dark days of COVID. You stand up, you stand out, you show up. Your commitment doesn't merely say, let's get the job done. It elevates our entire community. You know, too often in too many fields, we see people merely just marking time, clocking in, clocking out, saying how much they dislike their job, doing only what is required because they can. But each of you stand out in unique ways. Today's awards recipients, we celebrate you as people who stand in stark contrast to as individuals who genuinely care, who prioritize the human touch, who consistently go beyond expectations. And if I were to add or give a name or a quote to each of you, it would be if every hand that reached could touch, because that's what you do. You are the heart of our city, but most importantly, you're the heart of our city's success. You know, we have titles like mayor and city councilor, and that gets a lot of attention. But the real substance is our city's success, which comes from each of you. Without your daily efforts, whether you're in the assessor's office, meticulously ensuring that we have fairness, or DPW crews who tirelessly maintain our streets, our public spaces, regardless of the weather, or the city clerk's office, just to name a few, who diligently keep up processing our city's work in a transparent way and orderly, such that we are always assured to function. So today we honor 18 extraordinary individuals who exemplify what it means to serve this community with distinction. Individuals like Shamshur in public health, or Jose in public works, or Suzanne in the climate office represents just the very best in public service. Now, I've seen firsthand the dedication that many of you bring to work. I've heard the countless stories of your colleagues and community members whose lives you have touched with your kindness, your expertise, and your efficiency. The common thread between all of you in this room is very clear. You're deeply committed to Cambridge and the residents that we serve. So when Cambridge earns recognition as an outstanding place to live, to work, or to visit, it is a direct reflection of your extraordinary efforts. Every permit efficiently processed, every street meticulously maintained, every inquiry handled with thoughtful care, this is the essence of your excellence. So you don't work for the city council or the city manager, you work for the citizens of Cambridge. And I want to thank you on their behalf. But while I'm in the thanking business, let me take a moment to thank your family and your friends who have come out to support you today. Can we give them A round of applause. So to each honoree today, congratulations on your well-deserved recognition, your contributions deeply appreciated, and to everyone who's made the celebration possible. I also just want to take a moment to acknowledge someone who is near and dear, at least to me, Kate Champion Murphy and her son, Joseph Murphy. It's so good to have you. Please stand and let's acknowledge you. I had the pleasure to serve with Brian Murphy. He got me in more trouble because he made more jokes. You know, those meetings go long, and he would say something wise, and I have to put my head down to pretend that I was sneezing and not laughing. But very seriously, thank you for ensuring that our exceptionals, to the families and to all those that surround our awardees, thank you for supporting our awardees, and to our awardees, no better acknowledgement and recognition that you have very, very, very hardly earned. And so as I end my remarks, I just want to say I want to just call out two special people. I hope I say this person's name wrong because I say it right because I always say it wrong. Colin Steffens. You don't see what she does. But if she decided not to come to work, the one day she decided not to come to work, I think she might have actually been sick. I thought we weren't going to have any technology at all. And I said to Naomi, I don't know where she is, call her, tell her to get here. She does such an, I want to just acknowledge her, because she just does it with such grace and without asking for any acknowledgement. So just a very particular thank you. One other person that I'm going to call out and probably embarrass is William Simmons. I remember your grandmother, and we used to hang out. I'm not going to tell you, we would go to church, and it was very lovely on Sundays. It was called a beach, but anyways, she was an extraordinary woman, and I cannot tell you, I know how proud she is of you. So on behalf of her, congratulations. So as I take my leave, let me leave you with the words of Serena Williams. And she says, "The success of every person should be an inspiration to another. We should raise each other up, make sure you're courageous, be strong, be extremely kind, and above all, be humble." So to our awardees, thank you for inspiring us, for having courage and strength and kindness and humility. Congratulations. I see my colleague, I'm terrible with names, you know who you are, but Councilor Wilson is with us, and I just want to open the floor. Owen's going to be upset, but this is because he drove the bus over me. Can we have my colleagues say just a word of congratulations? Let's start with you, Councilor Siddiqui.
Sure, thank you so much. I want to just say how grateful we are to have just such outstanding employees and team members in the city. Public service is hard, and right now our local institutions are more important than ever. And so local government, thank you so much for all you do, and a huge congratulations.
Thank you. Councilor Wilson.
I just want to say congratulations and thank you all for the work that you do. The work that you do is definitely a contribution to the city, to our neighbors, to our residents, and to everyone that comes to visit here. So thank you all so much. Continue to do great work. Thank you.
Councilor Zuzzi.
Another congratulations. Thanks to all of us. You make us who we are. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Nolan. Okay. She was a cheerleader in another life. And Councilor Sabrina Wheeler.
Thank you. I just wanted to say, us as councilors are out in the community, we get so many compliments about how well run the city is and all the different facets. So it's great to be able to recognize you all here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. I don't believe there are any former councilors or other elected officials in the audience, so I'm going to turn it back over to Owen. And again, congratulations, congratulations, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mayor Simmons. I should say, Matt had indicated to me at the outset of this meeting that we were to limit councillors to 2 minutes each. But given what has just happened, I don't think that was necessary. In any case, so I want to introduce Jan. Jan has obviously been here for 3 years at this point in time. This is his third occasion making these presentations. What's been extraordinary to me in terms of Jan has been, as we walk through the halls or through the different buildings in the city, he knows so many people after such a short period of time. And again, I think it just reflects the amount of interest that he has in the people who work for the city. And so with that, let me introduce Jan. Jan Wong, City Manager.
Thank you so much, Owen, and thank you all. I'm so excited to be here, and this is my favorite event of the year, not only because we get to celebrate the people who are serving our community and making this amazing city run, but also because we get to see your families, your loved ones, your friends. Welcome to City Hall. Thank you for sharing so much with us. And we're looking forward to celebrating today. Cambridge is an incredible place, an incredible city, and we just finished 3 days of budget hearings where we got to present so much of what is happening across the city in every single department. And we were honestly just scratching the surface. For so many of our teams who are coming up to the table in this very room, I could feel an eagerness about wanting to share more about the good work that you are all doing every day. And there was a moment yesterday when we got to public investments, and this is all of the major capital projects from parks to sewers, from cybersecurity to pool repairs. And we had the people on all of our teams who were leading these projects, maybe 50 or 60 sitting in the back in the chamber. And I felt so proud of the work that we are all doing together. And we got to sewers, and I'm going to take a little moment to embarrass Owen a little bit, because this is his last employee awards before he rides off into retirement this summer. And we get to sewers, and his eyes light up, sort of like if you've got, a elementary school kid and he gets like a new truck or a new toy. Because if there's something that excites Owen and represents so much of what he has contributed to this community, it is sewers. Actually, he was on a trip to Paris, and he was telling me that one of the most exciting parts was visiting these old sewers under the streets, because you can sign up for tours, and they'll take you through, and you can see all of that history. And it's true that 30 years ago, our sewers were in really, really bad shape. 100-year-old pipes, not enough flow when it rains, sewage and stormwater mixing together and overflowing into our streets and people's basements. It was not a good situation. And we have gotten to so much of a better place. We have new pipes, we have massive underground storage tanks, we have pumps that move water along, we have separated systems. Not all of them are separated, but many of the most important pieces of our system have been separated. And flooding in our neighborhoods, especially in Alewife, Baldwin, and the Port, are now very rare occurrences when once they were fairly common. And that basic infrastructure, that work has been the result of staff who are doing this every day, year after year. Planners, project managers, engineers, purchasing assistants, community engagement teams, and so many more who are doing the work that you are each doing. And so today we're celebrating all of you, the special people who make Cambridge strong. And the sewers is really just one story. And I feel like each of you have so many stories. And as even after 3 years, I will say, I am still learning about how deep the expertise, professionalism, complexity exists behind each of our teams that really make this city run so smoothly. You are repairing our infrastructure, you're strengthening our organization, you're supporting the most vulnerable in our community, keeping us safe in moments of crisis, designing our streets, running our public meetings, and so much more. So today is a day to celebrate you. And I just wanted to touch on also what makes the work so outstanding. You know, we are going to talk about each of you who have been incredibly dedicated and hardworking. I see it all the time, the extra effort to serve a resident, the late hours to get a project done, the faster timelines that we're trying to hit. And there's the care for each other, the values that drive each of us into public service and are supporting each of us as members of a team. That shows up too. And you know, I'll say just one last story about Owen. I remember when he first came into the city manager's office, he was showing me the furniture and this sofa that he's got in his office. And he said, you know, one of the best parts about this sofa is that it folds out into a bed. And I was like, wait a second. I've never had to sleep overnight in my office before. And I think over time, we are seeking to find that better work-life balance. But it is that commitment that really does, I think, speak to the work that you're all doing. But there's something else that I see in this group. I see people who have taken risks and tried out new ideas, who have led really big changes to the work that we're doing in the city. And it is that willingness to see something that isn't working and propose a solution, to see a hurdle or a barrier and find some creative way around it, to bring others along and collaborate because there's a common good that we're all working for. And I've seen that in so many of the pieces of work that you have each touched. And that's part of what makes Cambridge special, that we have done not just the same things well, but we've done new things, hard things, and we've done it together. And so I am thankful for this amazing organization that I've gotten to be a part of. And now I've been talking for too long. And so I'm excited to get to the main event because we have so many people to celebrate. So let's get started. So if I could call up Shamshir Bam, who is a public health nurse in our public health department, to start us off. Shamshir, you know, one of the things that we do when we go through this is I try to make sure I know how to pronounce everybody's name. And I was asking, and they said, you pronounce it as it looks. Everybody says it differently, and Shamshir answers to it all. And I felt a lot of affinity because my name is the same. And that's exactly how I would describe mine as well. But for the past 16 years, Shamshir has been protecting the health of Cambridge's residents. As a public health nurse at the Public Health Department, his role centers on preventing the spread of disease and safeguarding the well-being of our community. Shamshir follows up with residents diagnosed with illness, reported to the state everything from food-borne pathogens like salmonella to highly contagious viruses like norovirus and hepatitis to mosquito and tick-borne diseases such as West Nile. He also plays a key role at Cambridge Health Alliance's tuberculosis clinic, supporting patients through treatment and helping them overcome common barriers such as language differences, transportation challenges, and gaps in health insurance. In difficult moments, Shamshir is the one who shows up with a steady hand and often the perfect joke to lighten the mood. His ability to build trust and establish meaningful partnerships across city departments and nonprofit community organizations has strengthened public health work citywide. Shamshir is the rare colleague who is equally skilled at tending to an individual patient with meticulous care and conceptualizing strategic solutions to broad challenges. His great sense of humor, coupled with his clinical leadership, practicality, and commitment to the city's most vulnerable residents, make Shamshur not only an invaluable member of the Public Health Department, but also a deeply respected and admired friend in the Cambridge community. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning. So, City Manager, this is what I say. I say I only share some, so it's a some share. So that's how my name pronounced. So, thank you. It's easier to call the ISD team to say, hey, can you do the restaurant inspection than standing up here, but I'm going to try my best. First and foremost, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Councilors, City Manager. First, I would like to thank the residents of Cambridge and amazing institutions that are established in the city of Cambridge. I extend congratulations to nominees and fellow recipients of this year's Outstanding City Employee Awards. This is without a doubt the best city to work in. I live in Medford, but I know more about Cambridge, so I think than Medford. So that's why I say that. So it's been almost 20 years, so getting old every day. Its residents and institutions challenge us to do better every day. We very much appreciate the opportunities. To all of you residents and the institutions in Cambridge, I'm honored to receive this award. It is a magnificent feeling, work with fantastic colleagues over there. I think they decided to go upstairs. And then I continue to learn from them. I appreciate my public health mentors, colleagues, retired, somewhat retired, not quite retired yet, in the process, past and present, who are here today, family members and friends who are participating remotely from West Coast, East Coast, somewhere they are, wherever they may be. Of course, if I forget to thank my wife, then I won't have dinner tonight. Thanks for being here, and thanks for your continued support. Talking about COVID, some of you did not know the work of the Cambridge Public Health Department until COVID pandemic put us on your radar. And while it is true, the biggest public health emergency in the century shined a spotlight on public health, we had been working steadily before the pandemic, and then we continue to our work, help protect the health of Cambridge community with special focus on our most vulnerable residents. The work of public health, often not visible, can be very involved, that we can't calculate the number and the numbers of hours that we put in. For example, a patient with a tuberculosis takes a long time to get well. That requires home visits, needed support, and then contact investigation, to name a few items around it. And it all happens behind the scenes, but we are serving the community every day. Often we hear, is that TB still is around? Unfortunately, it is. So that's why the work is there. The pandemic challenged us in many ways, but it also provided us opportunity for developing partnership across the city, continue to enhance our work in early days of crisis. The essential items were rationed. I don't know if you all remember, we could not get more than 6 eggs, half a gallon of milk, and that was the time we all went through. But we were grateful to be in a position to drop off a few supplies to our residents' doorsteps. We thought that was a privilege where we had that opportunity to do it. Our department has been fortunate to coordinate efforts with a wide range of city departments, to name a few: CFD, CPS, CPD, Human Services, DPW, and ISD. Just mentioning a few if I forget, because Matt told me I have 2 minutes, but I said I'm going to take 20, so I'll try to minimize. We also have established important relationship. Thank you, Mayor. Nonprofit partners, including shelter providers, meals programs, and other community groups. These collaborations across the city have shown that working together yields better outcomes on behalf of our residents and patients, especially in a climate where public health is under attack. Probably you all watching news, looking at the cell phones, iPhones, so it's definitely under attack. I can't emphasize that. I feel very fortunate to work in an environment where city leadership and then our partners recognize support of our work. We appreciate the collaboration, and thank you. Matt, I'm going to give you my extra time to you. Thanks so much.
Shamshir, you've gotten us started off strong. Next up, we have Daryl Cabral, a staff librarian at Central Square Branch. Daryl is a consistent, welcoming presence at the Central Square Branch Library. As staff librarian, Daryl is responsible for leading the branch's collection department, development, and programming efforts, as well as the day-to-day operations of the branch. At a fast-paced and at times high-need library, Daryl keeps his calm, patient demeanor and works hard to get all of our patrons what they need, whether that's a replacement library card, a great new read, a connection to local resources, support getting a state ID, and so much more. Daryl has also brought that closer connection to so many of our patrons by speaking to them in Haitian Creole or Spanish. To advance the library's digital equity goals, Daryl recently brought Tech Goes Home back to the library, leading a cohort of 10 learners as they gained confidence and skills on the computer. At the end of this month, his learners will all go home with their own Chromebook and the skills to use it. He took the time to reach out individually to each learner prior to the start of the program to make sure they understood what classes would consist of, that they had completed the pre-work for the program, and they could navigate to and around the building. Daryl is a kind, calm, and supportive team member. He never hesitates to stay late or come in early when we are short-staffed, and checks in with the entire team on those hectic days and after stressful events. Working with Daryl is a reminder of what empathy in action looks like, and we all benefit from his leadership and compassion. Congratulations.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you again for this award. I'm grateful for it. It's really nice to be here. And I wanted to say shout out to the CSQ team and also my coworkers at the library. We do this together. It feels great to feel supported as we help our communities. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Next we have Dana Clark. Dana is our office manager at the License Commission, and he is a born and bred Cambridge resident who has worked for the city for 11 years. He started as an intern at the Consumers Council and became an administrative assistant supporting the Pole and Conduit Commission, which is a very important commission. And so if you're walking around the city and you know you have your phone and you're thinking about how you're getting internet, a lot of those boxes go on poles and conduits. And you know, I think part of all these little pieces of the city that make it run. But Dana now serves as office manager, directing and supporting the entire staff in all divisions. He's deeply committed to customer service and goes above and beyond to be accessible to residents, businesses, and staff. He helps businesses navigate the licensing and permitting process at the License Commission and across departments, and makes sure they feel supported every step of the way. As the department's finance guru, Dana is constantly improving day-to-day operations and making complex tasks more efficient and understandable. He is the glue of the department. He arrives each day with a smile, ready to cover for any position, and always offers support in a quiet, respectful way. He handles difficult situations with patience and persistence and is always looking out for his colleagues' well-being. He also embodies the city's commitment to equity and inclusion. Dana has served on every departmental interview committee for the past 3 years, consistently advocating for diverse candidates and accessible ADEI-aligned hiring practices. He offers thoughtful ideas to make the office more supportive and inclusive for all. Dana is someone you can always count on, not just to do his job, but to do what's needed. As a resident and employee, he is fully committed to helping the department and the city shine. We are lucky to have him. Congratulations, Dana.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming out today. I want to congratulate the other award recipients and the award recipients from the past. The first person I want to thank is Laura Nichols, the now retired former director of the Cambridge Consumers Council. She was brave enough. She was brave enough to put her reputation and stick her neck out for me and give me my start with the city of Cambridge. And because of the opportunities she gave me, she also gave me guidance, knowledge, and encouragement to succeed in my position. Without her, I wouldn't be up here today, so thank you again, Laura. I am very thankful, humble, and appreciative to be nominated for this award. But I will accept this on behalf of the License Commission because I'm a team guy and the team helps me out immensely and is responsible for me being up here as well. I would like to thank my team and the License Commission, the veterans that were there when I started back in 2016. Cara Armstrong, Chris O'Neill, Ellen Watson, Officer Benny Zito, the now retired Andrea Boyer, retired Elizabeth Lint. They were very nice and super nice to me when I started. They taught me the ropes. They taught me everything I need to know to be a productive member of the team. They taught me things about the city that I didn't know, that like you needed a permit for everything. People complain a lot all day, every day. So that helped me get through my first years in the department. I want to thank Melissa Young. She was always there when needed, always willing to help. And I also want to thank Nicole Marati Ferrer, the best boss in the city. For the nomination, and I would just want to thank everybody else that came out here today to support me. My brother, Victor Clark, firefighter. So.
Next, we have Karen Fortool, who is our Math and Technology Coordinator in the Department of Human Service Programs. For over 14 years, Karen has been a driving force behind the Community Learning Center's mission to support Cambridge learners. Karen's leadership is felt across nearly every aspect of the CLC's operations, from overseeing technology needs and data systems to teaching the CLC's highest level math class. Karen played a critical role during the COVID-19 pandemic, securing Chromebooks and hotspots for students in need, ensuring that they could stay connected and continue learning. Recognizing that access to devices is a long-term equity issue, she collaborated with IT and participatory budgeting efforts to expand digital access beyond temporary fixes. Her tireless efforts ensured students were not left behind in a rapidly shifting digital world. Beyond crisis response, Karen has led major internal transitions, including the overhaul of the CLC's database system. She guided staff through the change with empathy, active listening, and deep technical knowledge, keeping operations running smoothly while building team capacity. She created a technology orientation for new staff and is the go-to person for digital solutions that make everyone's work easier. Karen began her career at the CLC as a part-time math teacher and quickly became known for her asset-based, learner-centered approach. She was the first to pilot contextualized career learning platforms and co-developed the CLC's first scope and sequence for math instruction. In her classroom, she inspires students to overcome fear and self-doubt, and many graduates speak of her lasting impact. Karen is also a trusted voice in DEI work, participating in hiring committees and citywide anti-racism initiatives. A collaborator, teacher, tech expert, and advocate, Karen represents the very best of public service in Cambridge. Her deep commitment to students, staff, and the city make her a truly outstanding employee. Congratulations, Karen.
Thank you. Good morning. So thank you, City Manager Yan Huang and Mayor Denise Simmons, City Councilors. Thank you to friends and colleagues who are here today. My journey at the Cambridge Community Learning Center began when Ramunda and Deb hired me as basic math teacher over a dozen years ago. I had worked for over 25 years in information technology, and this allowed me to follow my lifelong passion for math. I'd first like to thank the CLC leadership team, Maria Kefalanu, John Galley, and Roselise Esteve. Maria, thank you for your dedication and commitment to the mission of the CLC and support of all our staff and students. John, my supervisor, I appreciate all your wisdom and your being a tireless proponent for IT resources for the CLC. Roselise, ever since you came to the CLC, right before the pandemic, you've always been available to listen to me and to provide guidance. Next, Brian Hilaire, our tech support specialist, who's taken on huge workload with grace and unbelievable patience, no problem being too big or too small. DHSP leadership, Ellen and Sue, thank you for your belief in CLC and being such strong advocates. Ada, we would not be able to do all that we do without your IT work. Fellow math teachers, past and present, I've appreciated your being a great team and collaborators doing what's best for the students. My family, specifically my parents, who are no longer with us, always supporting, believed in me, and instilled their values: equality and justice for all, value of an education, doing for others, and fighting for one's beliefs. Shout out to my kids, Jamie and Nora. They live out in Tucson and San Francisco, so they're not here today. Thinking of friends and family near and far. And to Judith, I literally won't be standing here without you. Thank you. Lastly, I want to acknowledge all the students of the CLC, past and present. They are an inspiration, and their perseverance, despite many obstacles, make our work worthwhile. I also want to acknowledge that these are challenging times. Despite the current political climate, specifically federal administration, I'm glad we can do our small part to have a positive impact on others. And I'm hoping for a more just world. Thank you to all my colleagues at the CLC. Congratulations to my fellow award recipients, and thank you for this incredible honor.
Next, we have Serena Franks. Who is Assistant Director of Operations in Emergency Communications. Since joining the department in June 2022, Serena jumped into operations by getting to know team members, learning the ins and outs of public safety operations, and building strong relationships. Serena's responsibilities include managing the day-to-day operations of the Emergency Communications Center, which functions 24/7, 365. Her role requires overseeing all calls for service and ensuring quality assurance for 911 calls, as well as police, fire, EMS, and community safety dispatch services. She plays an integral role in emergency services and takes great pride in supporting our community safety partners, our residents, and our team. Serena is also responsible for managing the schedule of all EC supervisors and ETDs, a significant undertaking that ensures minimum staffing requirements are met at all times. Her role involves working with other city departments, including GIS, DPW, and electrical, to maintain accurate street addressing and master box data so public safety responders have critical information that they need. Most recently, Serena served as the business lead in implementing a new phone system in the ECC. This essential upgrade supports emergency telecommunication dispatchers in providing services to residents, first responders, and city operations. The project required close collaboration with PSIT to migrate the phone system and more than 10,000 contacts into a new database. She worked with public safety partners to verify contact information and delivered in-service training to the ECC team. Her diligence and attention to detail ensured a successful implementation. Serena consistently shows up every day, present and ready to take on any challenge facing emergency communication. She continues to work hard to improve the department and position the ECC for long-term success. And I would say, I think this just describes so much of there is such a technical job that's happening across so many of our departments, ECC in particular, incredibly complex systems, protocols, training. And I think Serena has been such a part of working in an environment that has been really difficult, because if you've been reading the news, ECC departments have really struggled with staffing. And this is a department where there are minimum requirements. And I think we have leaned really heavily on staff across ECC, just because we have to have somebody answering that phone if somebody's in critical need and is calling. And Serena and so many people in the department, but you have done such a job of bringing people along in those hard times and really supporting people, because we know that it's not just doing the job, it's also how we're treating each other and how we're just managing a team. So thank you for everything you're doing, and congratulations.
Good morning. I'm honored to receive this award this morning, and this recognition means so much to me, especially knowing how dedicated and talented the colleagues I work with every day are, and to be able to receive this. This award reflects my efforts and the support of my team, my department, and the supportive workplace culture we have here in Cambridge. I'm grateful to be part of a city that values service, integrity, and community. I want to thank my department. Special shout out to my director, Christina, and Deputy Director Heffernan that are in the back. Grateful for them. The other departments that we work with, including, well, Mark Mello's here and he's receiving an award. I'm very grateful to get to work with him. Police, fire, community safety, and community safety in the back. And I couldn't be here without my team back at ECC who can't be here because they have to pick up the phone. They're the voices in the dark when nobody's around, and I wouldn't be here without them, so I'm very grateful to them. Grateful to my family for always supporting me. I've been in public safety for about 20 years, and that's a lot of long nights and a lot of time away, and so I can't be here without them. My wife, Sarah, that's at home, my daughter, Maddie, that's in the back, and my sons that are crossing my fingers to graduate this year from high school. But again, very grateful. But this inspires me, this award inspires me to keep working hard and keep giving back to the city that I'm really proud to serve. So thank you so much.
So our next award is for Swathi Joseph, who is our project planner in community development. She couldn't be here today to accept this award because of a family obligation, a joyous one, but we know that she's really grateful and wanted to recognize her. Not everyone has interacted with Swathi, but those who have know how much she contributes to the positive experience of working with the city. Swathi has been with the Community Development Department since 2017, and her role is to coordinate the review process for development that comes before the Planning Board. This work involves near constant communication with staff across the many departments that review development, with applicants seeking approval, and with Planning Board members who are responsible for making decisions. The process is complicated and at times chaotic. Swathi manages it all with careful attention to detail that ensures that process is fair, inclusive, and thorough. Her work allows development to move forward with confidence that the city's standards are met. What makes Swathi outstanding is her personal touch. She answers questions with a friendly attitude and warm disposition, always taking as much time as needed. She treats developers, city staff, Planning Board members, and all community members with equal courtesy and respect. Swathi has also championed making the city an inclusive workplace. She served on a working group that recommended strategies to make CDD more inclusive, especially to new employees. And during COVID lockdowns, she helped advocate for the needs of working parents. She was recently appointed to the ADEI Advisory Council, where her enthusiasm and talents will continue to benefit the city and the organization, and she is well known for simple acts of kindness, like sharing good food and stories about her heritage. Swathi couldn't be here, but we are so grateful for her service, and I'm sure we will catch up with her. Next, we have John Logidus. Did I get that right? John, or JP, has been with the city since 2016. With a background in construction supervision, John has been tasked with some of the city's most challenging renovation projects. In the past year, John has managed the ongoing fire headquarters renovation, the interior renovations to City Hall, and the fit-out of the new city offices located at 689 Mass Ave. Each one of these projects has needed exceptional attention to detail to continue the work while keeping disruptions to staff and operations at a minimum. From working with contractors to minimize disruptions, to meeting with staff to explain inconveniences and solutions, his positive outlook, sense of humor, and thoughtfulness towards staff impacts are a perfect mix for the sometimes high-intensity world of construction management. And if anybody passes him, there's always just this massive smile, I think, on his face. JP's communication with key stakeholders at every major milestone has been critical to continued operations. As the new Capitol Buildings Department has developed, JP has helped craft the standard our projects strive for. This includes oversight of construction, coordination with designers and end users, maintaining safety protocols, communicating with building occupants to reduce disruption, and oversight of finances to maintain a balanced project budget. Congratulations, JP.
Good morning. I'm truly honored to be nominated to receive one of the City of Cambridge's Outstanding Employee Awards. I want to thank my team at Capitol Buildings for their support, hard work, and collaboration. A big thank you goes out to the fantastic design teams and contractors I've worked with through my years at the City of Cambridge. Their dedication makes these projects possible. I would also like to say congratulations to all the other award winners today. It's truly inspiring to be in such great company. And finally, I'd like to thank my family for being here today. Your love and support mean the world to me. Thank you.
Next, we have Jamie Matthews. Jamie is our Director of Labor Relations and Human Resources, and she plays such an important role in fostering a collaborative work environment across Cambridge's diverse workforce. Whether it's guiding managers through sensitive employee relations issues, advising on collective bargaining agreements, or responding to emerging labor concerns, Jamie ensures that the City of Cambridge remains in compliance with labor laws while maintaining positive and respectful relationships with our union partners. A significant part of Jamie's day involves engaging directly with union representatives, city leadership, and HR partners to ensure consistent communication and to address any grievances or disputes proactively. When labor issues arise, Jamie leads thorough investigations and helps chart a fair and legally sound path forward, often representing the city in mediations or arbitration proceedings. Over the past year, Jamie has made several key contributions that reflect her dedication and impact. She has successfully led the ratification of multiple collective bargaining agreements, ensuring fair outcomes for all parties involved. Jamie also played a key role in revising the city's parental leave policy, advocating for equitable, inclusive updates that better support employees and their families. In addition, she served as a core team member and trusted thought partner in the Discrimination, Harassment, and Retaliation Policy Working Group, helped shape policies that reinforce the city's commitment to a safe and respectful workplace. Day in and day out, Jamie is a steady, trusted presence for employees at every level of the organization. She is widely recognized as a voice of reason, neutral, thoughtful, and deeply supportive, making her an indispensable part of the city's HR team. Congratulations.
Good morning. Thank you to the city manager, deputy city manager, mayor, and everyone who worked to put together this event. I am deeply honored to receive this award today. To my fellow award recipients, several of whom I've had the pleasure of working with, I am thrilled to share this day with you. One of the best parts of my job in human resources is the opportunity to partner and learn from employees in almost every city department. Working here has shown me the value of teamwork and collaboration. I would not be successful without the assistance and hard work of dozens of colleagues across the city. Together, we try to resolve complex issues involving a number of variables beyond our control. Human resources problems often have no right answers, but rather a range of possible outcomes. Inevitably, we reach better decisions after listening to one another and carefully considering all angles and perspectives. I wish I had the time to recognize each and every team and department that I work with, but we would be here all afternoon. While each has a very different function and culture, they share a level of professionalism, expertise, compassion, and commitment to the Cambridge community that is unmatched. I do want to call out one special department, to Ray Ketchings and our entire human resources team. You inspire me every day with your enthusiasm and dedication to serving the employees of the city. Even when the work seems endless, our team is ready to tackle whatever comes our way with a positive attitude. I'd also like to thank former personnel directors Michael Gardner and Sheila Keaty Rawson for taking a chance on me 14 years ago when I was ready for a career change. Even though Michael offered me a job and told me he was retiring in the same conversation, I learned so much from him. Fortunately, I got to work with Sheila a little bit longer. On a daily basis, she led with responsibility, integrity, and empathy. I knew that no matter the challenge, she would face it calmly and thoughtfully. Finally, and most importantly, thank you to my family for their love and support, particularly my parents and husband who are here today. Thank you.
Jamie?
Next, we have Mark Mello. Mark is our city electrician in the Department of Public Works, and he has been overseeing the electrical department. He's been with the city for 20 years and started as an electrician, was promoted to electrical coordinator in 2018, and was again promoted to city electrician in 2021. Mark grew up here in Cambridge, and he will tell you he's a Cambridge kid through and through. More than just saying it, Mark demonstrates his love for the city through his incredible dedication and work ethic, which we can really testify to. As city electrician, Mark oversees the city's fiber optic network, emergency call boxes, street lights, and other critical infrastructure. I think, Mark, you might know the city streets better than any of us. Mark's first priority is always safety for the staff he supervises and for the city's residents. He works tirelessly to make sure the systems we rely on are operational, and he has built trusted relationships across city departments and with the utility companies so that when there is an emergency or an outage, it is addressed immediately, as earlier this week. And I had a funny text from my daughter who said, "The power is out at school and we had to evacuate on the day the Patriots came." But Mark and his team did an incredible job at the scene, keeping everybody updated, getting power back on, and emergency generators there, and just how smooth that all went was really incredible. When the city had to relocate fire headquarters recently, that also meant creating a new data center and rerouting complex fiber optic cabling. It was an enormous undertaking with the potential to impact all city operations. And it went off without any issues because Mark planned and executed this work seamlessly. Mark does this again and again on major construction projects, EV charging stations, park and playground renovations, you name it. Mark is the person you trust to get the job done and get it done right. Cambridge is extremely fortunate to have Mark as its city electrician. Congratulations.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to share this special day with everyone who received an award also. I want to thank the people who nominated me. I was surprised by John Ardone, Deputy Commissioner John Ardone, Public Works. They came to my office and said I was one of the selectees for the 2005 City Manager Award. Something I would not expect it at all. I just come here, work every day, just like everybody else who is employed here. I want to thank the electrical division employees who work day in, day out. Without you, I couldn't be successful at the work I do. I also want to thank former City Manager Louis Pasquale and Deputy City Manager Lisa Peterson for their confidence when they appointed me as the new city electrician. I had some big shoes to fill from former city electrician George Fernandez and Steve Lankauskas, who mentored me through my years. Thank you. I also want to thank our city manager, Deputy City Manager, Mayor, and Vice Mayor, and all city councilors for their continued support and leadership. It is a pleasure for working such with the great organization. I also want to thank all city department heads and the employees who we work closely with day to day on different projects, emergency situation, or simply light out on the office calls. It is an honor to work alongside with so many hard-working employees here. I also want to thank DPW Commissioner Kathy Watkins, Deputy Commissioner John Ardone, and Assistant Commissioner Jennifer Matthews on welcoming the Electrical Department, which became a division of Public Works. It was a seamless and smooth transition between departments. I appreciate your continued support in sharing the same visions and goals. I also like to thank the DPW divisions and their employees that work day to day with us in collaboration with different projects in the operations. Lastly, however, formally, I'd like to thank my family who has been supporting me through my career and passion, especially to my wife, Sarah, son, Andrew, and daughter, Emily, who we miss a lot of functions due to emergencies in the middle of the night phone calls. Family together is more important, especially when it is time away. Without you, I couldn't be successful in my job. I appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Next, we have Liz Mengers-McGargy. Liz is our manager of homeless services, continuum of care in the Department of Human Service Programs. Liz believes in our responsibility to support the most vulnerable in Cambridge. When Liz was the continuum of care planner, she went out every week with the multidisciplinary outreach team that connects with people on the street. When she took over the management of the planning and development team, Liz worked with so many different colleagues across the city to help ensure expansion of services for those who are unhoused. She wrote the RFP to create the warming center and worked to help facilitate the relationship between the senior center, the police, and Bay Cove. Liz worked tirelessly during the pandemic to help secure critical services for the unhoused. She partnered with Matt Nelson in the city manager's office on the project to provide nightly meals through our restaurants, worked with Bay Cove, the police, public health, and other city and community partners to set up the field house and ultimately the Transition Wellness Center, and worked to ensure that the city would be able to step in and fund the Salvation Army shelter when it lost its state funding. And she worked hard to ensure that the city would be able to move quickly to get ARPA dollars to our nonprofit partners, providing direct services and supports to the unhoused. Most recently, Liz worked closely with the Housing Authority, the Multi-Service Center, and other partners to help ensure that those who are in our shelters or on the streets were able to access permanent supportive housing. Liz thinks deeply about how to ensure that the city spends its federal dollars consistently with the HUD requirements. She leads a team that works incredibly hard to manage the funding to so many nonprofits in the city, and she is a city treasure, working collaboratively to support our most vulnerable, and we are lucky to have her. And I will say, especially as we navigate some of the really challenging situations we're seeing out of Washington, Liz has been such a deeply trusted partner in understanding the grant process, the conditions, how we can navigate that. Just deeply valued her commitment to people who are vulnerable in our community and her ability to help us find a path to better serve them. So thank you, Liz.
Wow, thank you. Thank you to the mayor, the city manager, councilors, and leadership, and to the entire team who has worked to make this event happen. It is an honor to be recognized alongside such an incredible group of colleagues committed to public service. And I am so honored to be recognized for my contributions to work that I care so deeply about. The challenges of working to address homelessness are abundant, complex, and heavy. More often than not, the list of problems facing us on any given day is far bigger than the list of wins. And I am extraordinarily grateful to face each day and each challenge and win alongside my incredible team in P&D. Marianne, Connor, Laura, Golnaz, Tommy, Mike, Anthony, and Joel, who are smart, driven, and dedicated and do so much behind the scenes to support the extraordinary community of providers in shelters, outreach vans, case management offices, supportive housing units, and front desks across the city. Despite and because of the immense uncertainty that lies ahead, I am hopeful and excited by the opportunities to leverage our collective expertise and experiences to continue striving for improved systems of care and positive outcomes for people struggling to survive day to day. I'd also like to give a big shout out to Janice, Gio, Phil, Bridget, Maria, and her extraordinary team at the Multi-Service Center. And a big thank you to Ellen. It would take far more than 2 minutes to fully express my gratitude for your leadership, your belief in me, and your commitment to the critical work of our department. Thank you to my family and support systems, more people than I can name, but I want to especially call out and thank my parents, who I know are watching on Zoom. Hi, Mom and Dad. You taught me through words and actions the importance of hard work, kindness, resilience, humility, and striving to keep learning and trying always to do the right thing. Thank you to my sisters, Sarah and Abigail, who inspire me, keep me honest, sane, and laughing. And thank you to my daughters, Elle and Sylvia, who are fun-loving, curious, a little sassy, empathetic, and energetic young ladies whose love and perspectives bring pure joy to my life. And to Dave, I can't begin to articulate my gratitude for your love, partnership, and steadfast support. It feels like yesterday and forever ago, probably on the back deck at Sparadakis, when you encouraged me to go for it when I stumbled on a homeless services job posting for the city. Here we are 14 years later, and you have been unwavering in your support and encouragement. Your honesty, patience, humor, and energy make life lighter. Thank you.
Next, we have Sonia Prado-Zolo. Sonia is our HR manager in the Department of Transportation. And since joining the department in 2004, she has played a pivotal role on the department's leadership team. Sonia is kind, dedicated, hardworking, and resourceful. She is responsible for all human resource functions within the department, supporting a large number of staff doing a diverse variety of jobs. Sonia's expertise in all things human resources is essential to the growth and success of the entire department. She adeptly balances the needs of employees with the needs of the department, and in her role, she ensures all employees have the tools they need, and by supporting her employees, she ensures the success of the department. When a new employee joins, Sonia is their very first contact, and she is there for them from that day forward. From onboarding all the way to retirement, Sonia provides guidance and support, acting as a sounding board for employees on all kinds of issues. She is there for staff during life's major milestones, both the good and the difficult, always with compassion and patience. Sonia has been a constant in the department through various leadership transitions, always happy to share her deep knowledge of the department and its staff. The entire department is thrilled to see Sonia recognized for the significant and lasting impact she has had on the Department of Transportation. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, City Manager Wong, Mayor Simmons, the council, and Deputy City Manager O'Riordan. This is an incredible honor. I want to congratulate my fellow recipients. I'm humbled to be a part of this group. Over the last 21 years, I've had the pleasure of working with many of you in this room and many other talented staff members across the city. I've learned from your expertise, grown alongside you, and had the privilege of sharing my own knowledge. I'd like to thank Brooke, Jeff, and Stephanie for their support and recognition, and Lauren for being a big part of my success. To the entire transportation team, thank you for trusting me to support you each day. It's all of you that make my work rewarding. Most importantly, I'd like to thank my family, my husband and children for their endless patience when work demands my time and attention, and my parents for teaching me the value of hard work. Thank you again for this recognition.
Picture. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Next, we have Jose Rosales Jr. Jose is a working supervisor in the Department of Public Works, and he started as a motor equipment operator in the street cleaning division in 2012 and was promoted to a working supervisor for that division in 2022. Jose is an integral part of his team, and his supervisors know that they can rely on him. Jose's coworkers all describe him as a positive influence, a professional, and the kind of person who will jump in to help and take on new tasks. Jose is a Cambridge resident, and his love for the city and its people comes through in everything that he does. He works on two major programs of Public Works, the overnight composting program and the street sweeping program. Prior to the no-tow street sweeping pilot, Jose was very involved in working with typically frustrated residents whose cars had just been towed. So that is a tough job. He was able to calm folks down with his positive and professional manner, and Jose was one of the key people involved in developing the no-tow street cleaning pilot, and he always brought positive ideas and suggestions on how to get things done instead of focusing on the negative or the challenges. And that is how he approaches all of his work. Now Jose is working with residents to encourage them to move their vehicles and avoid tickets, and he's having great success. Jose works with a diverse crew at Public Works, and he interacts with residents daily. He is thoughtful and respectful of everyone and gives people space to share their opinions and perspectives and helps people work toward common goals. Jose gives 110%, and people can see that, value it, and respond to it. He is an exemplary city employee. And I know Jose mostly from the hockey rink, and you are looking really good today. Both of us look a lot worse at the hockey rink. I'll just leave it at that. But congratulations. Really excited.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you. First, I'd like to thank my family, my mother, father, brother, and 2 sons for their love and support. And to my co-workers, thank you. Thank you for the nominations. To my past and present supervisors, Lenny Silva, Juan Galindo, John Fitzgerald, Sean Headley, thank you for your leadership and guidance over the past 13 years. I lived in Cambridge for 50 years, was born here, helped raise 2 sons, and created some of the best memories of my life here in Cambridge. To be able to give back to a city that's given me so much is a great honor. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're very welcome.
Next, we have William Simmons. Officer William Simmons is part of our community action team in the police department, and he has proudly served the city of Cambridge since 2012, following his service in the U.S. Navy. A lifelong Cantabrigian, he brings deep personal commitment to his role on the police department's community action team, a group of officers addressing quality of life issues in the business districts and supporting the residents within them through community-oriented engagement. Officer Simmons is helping to redefine modern policing. Guided by his mantra, "We can't arrest our way out of problems," he leads with a people-first approach rooted in compassion, accountability, and human connection over jail. He has been a driving force behind community court and recovery court, state initiatives that provide pathways to rehabilitation, housing, and employment instead of confinement. Officer Simmons spends much of his shift engaging with Cambridge's unsheltered community through consistent personal connections. He identifies early signs of crisis and coordinates interventions with service providers, housing navigators, and substance use disorder specialists. Many of those he has supported credit him with helping reclaim sobriety, stability, and in some cases, survival. His impact extends particularly in both Central and Harvard Squares, where he is a trusted presence in response to concerns from business owners about individuals loitering in doorways overnight, often creating unsafe or disruptive situations. Officer Simmons showed extraordinary commitment by adjusting his schedule to begin as early as 5 a.m., helping to ensure storefronts are clear, safe, and ready to welcome employees and patrons. Beyond his community outreach, he serves on the department's peer support team, offering emotional support to fellow officers navigating work-related trauma and stress. A proud father of 2 daughters, Officer Simmons is a hero at home and in the community, championing a model of policing grounded in care, innovation, and an unwavering commitment to help shape a safer, more inclusive city. Congratulations.
When you work in the community, you work with the community. So I just want to thank everybody who I work with. I'm here because of you too. 4 generations ago, both my mother and father families migrated to Cambridge from Europe. My grandmother attended a school where the principal was Charles G. Harrington. Years later, both my mother and I would walk the halls in the school named after his honor. I also attended the Robert F. Kennedy School, where during PTA meetings, my teachers would share stories about having my father as a student. I eventually went to Matinee High School, where I met the love of my life, the woman who would become the mother of my children. Since my family first called Cambridge home, the city has gone through many changes. 2 of the schools I once attended no longer exist. Though I don't have any quotes from Harrington or Matinee to share, I'd like to share words from Robert F. Kennedy, spoken after the assassination of Martin Luther King. What we need in the United States is not division. What we need in the United States is not hatred. What we need in the United States is not violence and lawlessness, but love and wisdom and compassion toward one another. This quote embodies the values we uphold in Cambridge, a community that rejects discrimination and embraces everyone. Today, I spend my days working with some of the city's most vulnerable populations, supporting individuals as they face challenges of addiction, homelessness, and mental illness. These are complex issues, and they demand complex, thoughtful solutions. As a founding member of the Cambridge Police Department's Community Action Team, I collaborate with community stakeholders to identify problems and develop meaningful responses. Together, we move beyond stereotypical policing. We lead with empathy, kindness, understanding. We police with compassion. Thank you, everybody.
Next, we have Colin Stevens. Stephens. Colin is our AV technician in information technology, and she is touching so many of us every day. Colin joined the city in April 2023 and immediately made a strong impression with her positive attitude, technical skill, and remarkable adaptability in any situation. Colin has been instrumental in transforming how we deliver public meetings and community events. Her expertise in live production, managing PA systems, video switching, and audio mixing has ensured smooth, accessible, and high-quality events, including the State of the City, address city community meetings, and countless others, both on-site at City Hall and off-site at numerous event locations throughout the city. Colin supports hundreds of council and committee meetings each year, providing rock-solid technical support with unmatched consistency. When challenges arise, Colin is the calm problem solver everyone relies on. She continues to add to her impressive credentials with her pursuit of the CCNA, which underscores her unwavering commitment to continually enhancing her expertise in delivering superior results. Colin also created an AV confluence system that tracks equipment and streamlines maintenance. She's led accessibility initiatives, trained city staff, and helped modernize spaces like the Sullivan Chamber with new production equipment. Her work elevates every event she touches, and her dedication makes her an invaluable part of our city's success. Thank you, Colin, and congratulations.
Thank you. So I just want to say I'm old school, so I wrote some notes. No computers right here. So I do want to thank my family. They couldn't be here today, but my mom is on Zoom. Hey, Mom. I also want to thank my partner, Lois, my friends, my dad, and my other dad who passed away last year. So thank you for your support. I also want to thank the people that nominated me. Some of you I know, some of you I don't know, but I really appreciate the acknowledgement. And also I want to acknowledge the people who were not nominated, who worked just as hard and may not have as much exposure as my position does, because I get to work with a lot of people. So keep doing your thing, keep working hard. So I think I might have a similar story to some people, especially the younger people working for the city. It was a tough transition coming from private sector to government. It's my second time working in government. And, it's always, the same old, government's slow, a lot of paperwork. We could be using a lot more technology to help things, run smoother. So that was tough, but one thing that I think the city of Cambridge does very well, and that's choose the right people. There's amazing people that work here. It's the best part of working for the city, in my opinion. So because of that, I want to advocate for the employees of the city of Cambridge. At the federal level, we're seeing like a really big movement of privatization and thinking that, the private sector can help public interest and be better public servants than the people who have been doing it for years. And that's concerning. So I think in order for government to not become obsolete, we have to do better. We all have to do better. We have to upskill. We have to take classes. The younger people, the younger generation, we're the future. So I implore you to take advantage of the city's great benefit of paying for tuition. You don't have to be working towards a college education, college degree, but take classes, upskill. Our government jobs, they used to be, pretty good, and you could stay in there for 10, 20, 30 years, but we're seeing at the federal level that may not be the case anymore. So, take advantage of all of the perks that the city offers. Yeah, for sure. So I say that to say that the status quo is no longer acceptable. We have to improve, we have to evolve. So I also I want to speak to the directors, assistant city managers, mid-level management people. Encourage your people to take on more responsibility, to learn more, and maybe as a personal I guess question or ask is don't be so quick to say no to things. This younger generation, all we want to do is help. All we want to do is make things better. And there's a lot of no's. So I implore you to listen more, take the good stuff, make it work, because government is really in need of some evolution, I believe. So, if we do better, if the employees are upskilling, if we build our capabilities, if management is open to change, to innovation, I think together we can really just improve government so that we can serve the public better, and so that as employees, we're a lot happier and we're not having to shovel paper constantly. That it can be tedious. There are departments here who are still using paper timesheets. So that blows my mind every single time I think about it. I'm like, oh my gosh. I know we're working on it. That's good. That's good. Yes, absolutely. But so I'll wrap it up. But I say this to say that it's really important now that we take advantage of. That we understand what is going on at the federal level, and that we're not immune to that happening here. And then where does that leave the vulnerable people in the public, in our society, the kids, the elderly? So it's up to us to make it work and to improve. Thank you.
On the same page, and it's an electronic page.
Not a paper page. Congratulations. Thank you.
We're saying we're definitely on the same page. On
electronic page.
Yes, the same electronic page, and we are catching up to the digital age in a somewhat uneven fashion, but moving in the right direction. Next up, we have Katie Urquhart-Berry. Who's our operations manager in the Department of Human Service Programs. Katie plays so many critical roles across the Department of Human Service Programs. She is often responsible for logistics on major department projects or events, working behind the scenes to make sure that everyone has what they need to get the job done. Katie has been a key member of the DHSP after-school summer and school year lottery team, supporting families in person and on the phone to apply. She finds efficient ways to manage workflow and always steps in to support her colleagues in their work. She works hard to provide support to frazzled and sometimes disgruntled families. She leads with kindness, professionalism, and care, demonstrating her calm, positive energy. Many employees have the catch-all phrase of other duties as assigned in their job description. For Katie, the way she does her job, it would be appropriate to say any work that would support her colleagues, the residents DHSP serves, and the public who are seeking information. Katie plays a leading role in supporting one of the key DHSP race and equity programs known as Drop Everything and Learn, monthly activities bringing staff together to deepen their connection and learning around race and equity. She provides great support as a supervisor and can always be counted on to encourage others to take on new tasks. She is humble, a great listener, fun to be around, and always willing to go the extra mile or 2 or 3. Congratulations, Katie.
Thank you. It's an honor to be up here. And thank you to all the other deserving employees that have gotten an award today. I'd like to thank all of my DHSP colleagues. We have a sign in our office that says, "For the love of humanity." And I really do believe that that's what DHSP is all about. And I love working with all of you. I just have a couple special thank yous. Special thank you to the admin team. Phil, Gio, Kevin, Lula, Carla, Amy, Richard, Christine, Yoselin, Sarad, Ada, and John. Prina, Katie, Megan, and Bridget. I don't know what I would do without you guys. A shout out to the just third floor, 51 Inman Street. Megan and Melissa, thank you for your friendship. Thank you, Ellen and Janice and Sue, for your leadership. And I have a special thank you to Paul Ryder, who would have taken credit for this award. My parents who are here, thank you for your endless support. My family, my brothers, sister, my in-laws, and my husband, Scott, who has puts up with me all the time and embraced the Thursday night rec league city softball team. Thank you very much.
Next, we have Phoebe West. Phoebe is our project coordinator in the Housing Liaisons Office, and she is a proud born and raised Cantabrigian. Her dedication to our city is demonstrated in all aspects of who she is and what she does. Phoebe is responsible for providing logistical, administrative, and technical assistance for projects and initiatives of the Office of the Housing Liaison. However, since assuming this role and throughout her tenure, Phoebe has far surpassed the duties and expectations of the job description, which seems to be a bit of a theme. She has designed informational materials, developed and patiently trained staff on data tracking systems, and created financial reports for various financial assistance programs. Phoebe has also been instrumental in developing and implementing many collaborative projects, including the Housed in Cambridge campaign, the Hoarding Network, and most recently, our eviction record sealing program. In addition, Phoebe was invaluable in the success of the LGBTQ+ housing-friendly task force. She coordinated the effort and was the primary author of the final report that included substantial and exciting recommendations. She was also indispensable in ensuring that the residents of the Commonwealth's Safety Net Family Shelter, both number 1 and number 2, were welcomed into our community. To assist these new residents, she created maps, worked with our language access manager to develop and translate informational materials, and coordinated school enrollment processes with the Cambridge Public Schools, the shelter provider, and the families. From her extensive knowledge and continued learning of all that Cambridge offers, to her efforts in connecting residents to our resources, to her collegial and collaborative relationships, Phoebe demonstrates her values and her active commitment to everyone in our community by sharing, learning, and leading. Simply put, Phoebe is an outstanding employee and colleague, as well as a champion, an advocate, and an ambassador for Cambridge residents, businesses, and partners. Congratulations.
Thanks all for bearing with us. As someone who has the last name at the end of the alphabet, I know I'm used to this world and I share it with Cynthia. So I'm gonna start off a little bit differently with just a couple of fun facts about me. So something that you all might not know about me is that creative solutions to housing problems is in my blood. I grew up in a multi-generational household that I would now categorize as doubled up. But we made it work with 7 humans, 2 dogs, a handful of birds, and a profound amount of patience to allow my parents to buy a house in Cambridge, a decision that I am so grateful for. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for not moving us to Worcester. Something else that you might not know about me is that I got my first job ever with the city. I don't particularly remember the details, but I think I was 14 and I attended a series of workshops at the Frizzoli. What I did, however, is lost to time. Truth be told, I never actually cashed that check, a point of contention between me and my mom. Sorry, Louie, who signed that check. So you might also count the mayor's program placement at the Beyond the Fourth Wall as my first real job that I got paid for and actually spent the money. And I've been working here for the city in many ways since. A huge shout out to the budget office, DHSP, and finally the Office of the Housing Liaison for having faith in me. To really serve my community, the community that I grew up in, went to school in, fell in love in, got up to no good in, has been and will continue to be an absolute gift. To channel the heaviness of the world into making the lives of my neighbors, even though I live in Somerville now, better. To make this city feel safer, easier, and more joyful is a balm on my itchy soul. To go through political turmoil, a dang pandemic, a slew of personal health malfeasance, this work has been my solace. In a time when sadness of the world feels crushing, it is my absolute honor that I get to show how government should work. And that investing in communities enriches all of our lives. I love to bring my legacy of creative housing problem solving to our clients, our programs, and the whole housing ecosystem. And what a gift to be celebrated for doing a job that I absolutely love doing. A huge thank you to everyone at the Office of the Housing Liaison and the Multi-Service Center for being with me, going to the ends of the earth for our clients, and for getting up to no good in the hallways. What we lack in clear names, we make up in sheer spirit of will, and I'm gonna acknowledge all of the folks, and if you know the Multi-Service Center, it's fun to go around the hallway, so that's what we're gonna do. Thank you to Michelle, Ryan, Nora, Daniel, Jose, Vinny, Sylvia, Cynthia, Lynn, Betty, Carla, my office mate and dear friend Hannah, Beth, Jean, Stephanie, and especially Maura and Maria. And to my people, my family and friends who support me through all of the madness and are always down for ice cream, I love you all deeply. And finally, to my darling husband, the aforementioned Cambridge-based love that I fell into, I love you, my sweet CRLS prom date. Thank you all. We keep up the fight for goodness, for justice, and for all of us. Thank you.
And now we have Cynthia Woodward. Cynthia is the Family Service Coordinator with the Community Engagement and Family Support Team in the Department of Human Service Programs. And she goes above and beyond her role every day. She consistently makes herself available to assist with a wide range of needs, ensuring that every community member feels heard, supported, and valued. Cynthia has a remarkable ability to build trust and meaningful connections with residents, helping them navigate services and access crucial resources. She works closely with local nonprofits and businesses to strengthen partnerships that directly benefit families in need. Whether she's organizing community events, coordinating outreach efforts, or providing one-on-one support, Cynthia approaches her work with compassion and a genuine desire to make a positive impact. Cynthia effortlessly balances multiple responsibilities, often identifying challenges and addressing them before they become bigger issues. Whether it's coordinating events, team workshops, streamlining processes, or simply being a go-to problem solver, Cynthia approaches every situation with a blend of creativity, practicality, and compassion. Her willingness to dive into any task and her knack for finding solutions, often behind the scenes, make a significant and lasting impact on our team and the community we serve. Cynthia is the kind of person who never hesitates to step in wherever she's needed, whether it's supporting a colleague, solving unexpected challenges, or ensuring that every community member receives the help they deserve. Cynthia's dedication is evident in the countless hours she spends making sure every detail is handled. Her unwavering commitment and tireless efforts make her an invaluable member of our team and the community. Congratulations.
Sorry, there's a breeze. There's a breeze from the fans. Thank you, everybody. I was both surprised and excited to learn that I would receive this award. I've been at the Center for Families for 12 and a half years now. I started out leading playgroups and planning smaller family events with our then team of 4. And while my role now is more focused on behind the scenes, our team has grown a lot to meet the needs of Cambridge families, and it continues to be an amazing experience. I feel as though I grew up alongside the Center for Families. And I would be remiss if I didn't specifically give honor to Michelle Godfrey, Lucy Hernandez, who are both here today, and Christine Doucette, who has retired, but is here in spirit. I started off at the Center for Families as a shy and quiet young adult, which I'm sure is surprising to people who know me now. And probably most surprising to my family, who's here, who would call me loud and a lot of work. But these 3 strong and energetic women brought me along with them in our work. They told me when I was wrong, which was often, and they cheered for me when I got it right. I hope we're all as lucky to have mentors like Michelle, Lucy, and Christine. The Center for Families has changed a lot over these past years, which really speaks to the hard work and dedication of our entire division, the Community Engagement and Family Support Division, which includes the Center for Families, Baby University, CET at DHP, DHSP, lots of acronyms, Cambridge Dads, and Case Management. Our work is truly rooted in relationships, both in how we support Cambridge families and how we support each other. We see our families and team members facing both new and continued challenges, and we know that family support work is more important now than ever. It's been a privilege to work for a city that truly values families' experiences and staff who show up each and every day for our community. Thank you to Ellen Semenoff and DHSP for all your hard work and leadership in helping our division to get to where we are today. And lastly, but never least, I want to thank my family for allowing me the space and opportunity to grow into the woman I am now and have a soft place to land when I needed it. Specifically, the men who raised me, my father, George, is here, who is a longtime volunteer at the Center for Families as well. And yes. voluntold, we call it voluntold, but he comes willingly. My godfather Mike and my older brother William are here. My mother has passed, but I'm her in many ways. And I have a lively and spirited 3-year-old daughter who tests me every day with her independence and determination, but she's my reason for keeping going. And of course, with all my heart, I want to thank my wife, Stephanie, who's here as well. She is my clear blue sky and my support on good and bad days. Thank you all. I'm very honored. Thank you.
It is extraordinary, year in, year out, to acknowledge the outstanding employees in the city. And indeed, it's an honor to be in your company today and to hear your speeches today. And so just I want to acknowledge again just the wonderful people who have received this year's Outstanding Employees Award. Thank you so much. And so now it's time for us to award the Brian Murphy Award for 2025. And so with that, if I could ask Kate and Joe, Brian's son, to join us up here at the rostrum. It's difficult to acknowledge this, but it's 10 years since Brian passed away in February of 2015. But his legacy continues to survive. This week, during the course of our budget conversations, there was a long discussion about participatory budgeting. And indeed, that was a concept that was first introduced to us by Brian about 11, 12 years ago. And so his work continues to survive and resonate in the community. Brian served as 3 terms as city councillor. Then he went to work with the state for a couple of years in the Department of Transportation, and then came back in 2011 and worked in the Community Development Department as the Assistant City Manager for Community Development for 4 years before his untimely death in 2015. I would say he was a much loved colleague, just a wonderful man, and someone who was loved by all who encountered him. And so it's a real honor for us to continue to honor Brian with this award. So with that, I'm going to hand you back to Jan.
So I was really excited. I mean, this is a really special award, and when I think with all of these awards, it's actually very difficult to make the selection. And but when I saw Suzanne Rasmussen's name come up, I thought this is an amazing choice for honoring Brian's legacy and also just the work that Suzanne has done over a long career with the city, and she has had such deep impact on our city. So Suzanne, come on up. You are... I'm going to turn a little bit. So Suzanne is our Deputy Climate Chief in the newly created Office of Sustainability, but longtime leader in our Community Development Department. Suzanne is epic. She's like a ninja, quiet and deadly effective. Suzanne has always looked beyond what is expected and instead focuses on what should be. In 1994, she created the Lead Safe Cambridge program that removed lead paint from low-income residences. Nobody asked her to look at the soil, but she looked at the soil. And she developed award-winning testing remediation protocols that the EPA recommended to people from all over the country. As director of Cambridge's Environment and Transportation Division for decades, Suzanne led the transformation of our streetscape. Before Suzanne, what is now Lafayette Plaza at the intersection of Mass Ave and Main Street was a traffic island and a gas station. Before Suzanne, only Central Square had bike lanes, and now Cambridge is considered one of the top cycling, walking, and commuting cities in the United States. Suzanne started one of the first traffic calming programs in the country, and actually, some credit, hired now DPW Commissioner and soon-to-be Deputy City Manager Kathy Watkins to lead that work. They passed a parking and transportation ordinance to encourage more sustainable transportation. We were the first city to have zip cars and early adopters of blue bikes, dedicated bike lanes, and public EV chargers, and that's just the transportation part of her legacy. Her environmental contributions are just as extraordinary. Very few people were working on carbon emissions 25 years ago. Suzanne and her team were working on reducing carbon emissions 25 years ago. Cambridge produced one of the first municipal climate action plans ever in 2002, and Cambridge produced one of the first municipal climate vulnerability assessments ever in 2014. Our Net Zero Action Plan, first written in 2015, puts our commitment to decarbonizing by 2050 into real action. Suzanne and the people she led have quietly made Cambridge into one of the most climate-forward cities in the world, on par with Copenhagen, Berkeley, and Amsterdam. Or I would say they are on par with us. Of course, she is quick to say that all of this was only possible through the extraordinary people on her team and across the city. And of course, that's true, but there's always been a common denominator, and it's Suzanne, who looks out to see what's missing and makes it happen, and we are all better for it. As a former colleague of Brian's, who this award is named for, and a lifer of community development, we are very proud to award Suzanne the 2025 Brian Murphy Award for Leadership in the Workplace and Public Service recipient.
Good morning, everyone, and it's all too overwhelming. Thank you so much. And of course, congratulations to all of my fellow awardees, and it's so amazing to hear about your work and get to know you better. It is deeply, deeply meaningful to me to have been selected to receive the Brian Murphy Award, and somebody told me I had 2 minutes, but I need at least 4 to express my gratitude. And I hope you will forgive me, because in addition to saying thank you, I have to say words about Brian. This is 10 years, as was just said, since Brian's very untimely and tragic passing, but his legacy and memory are still strong, and it is such an honor for me to receive his award in the presence of Kate and Joseph in particular. I knew Brian as a city councilor who chaired committee meetings, and I hope I don't embarrass you too much, but with Joseph in a striped onesie on his arm. I knew him when he was guiding state transportation planning at MassDOT, and most importantly, I worked with him closely for 5 years as the head of the community development department. Brian was the leader who knew his substance and had great political acumen. And very importantly, he was the ultimate leader who relied on us to show expertise and ambition and to make Cambridge the best place it could be with respect to sustainable transportation and climate and everything else. Brian was a direct mentor to me. He always had our backs and had incredible wit, as has been mentioned. It sometimes made me feel really stupid, because it took always like a second or two before the dime dropped, and I'm like, duh, that was really funny. And it just so impacted how we worked. Brian loved his family passionately, and he made sure that we knew everything about Molly and Joe. And we were so proud of you, even though we didn't know you personally. Brian became a mentor to me and the type of leader that I could look up to and aspire to be. was extremely fortunate to land a job with the city of Cambridge for more than 30 years ago, and I could never have imagined that I would stay for 30 years. I had never stayed for more than 2 years anywhere. And here I have been for the rest of my career, to be sure, but my job has been so much more than a job. In fact, it's been many different jobs, but all of them were focused on the environment in various ways and all aligning with my personal values and beliefs and what I care deeply about personally. And in Cambridge, the expectation is that we lead, we strive for excellence, and we pave the way forward on solving both everyday and existential crises, such as the threat of climate change. It's so exciting to always be pushing forward to identify the big goals we need to meet, and we have the resources and passion among city councilors, the mayor, city leadership, colleagues, and not least the residents and business owners in Cambridge who bring their passion and push us to get things done, and faster, please. I am incredibly proud of what we have achieved in sustainability together. And having been here so long, I have been able to witness the arc of change, which is immensely satisfying. Yet there's still so much more to do, and an excellent team is here, not only to keep the work going, but also accelerate the pace of accomplishments. While I've had the extreme fortune to be leading work to reduce toxins in the environment, promote sustainable transportation, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and make our community more resilient to climate change, all of our success has depended on the amazing teams of people that I have worked with. Amazing leaders such as Brian and multiple other city and CDD managers, many of whom are here. Julie's here, brilliant colleagues in the Community Development Department, and in many, way too many departments to mention, and most importantly, in the Environmental and Transportation Planning Division, and now the Office of Sustainability. The current team of people, and I count both climate and transportation, even though we were recently divorced. All of you are simply amazing. Each and every one of you are seen as leaders locally and across the country for your amazing skills and the passion that you bring to work. And there have been many others over the years. Some are still here, excelling and rising in the organization, and many who have gone on to become leaders in their own right in other organizations. You are the ones who truly deserve this award. And lastly, I wouldn't be here without my parents setting an example for hard work. It sounds like parents set that example for many. Problem solving, and in my case, also women pursuing technical careers. I wouldn't be here for the MIT magnet being strong enough to draw me across the ocean from Denmark. Or I wouldn't be here without my husband's constant support, there he is, and willingness to move across the ocean to be with me, or my beloved daughter Pia, for whom I wish to make a better and livable world, and who the city has enabled me to be able to support during what at times were very difficult circumstances in our family. Again, I am deeply grateful for the opportunity and so honored for this award and for the privilege of having worked with all of you and served the residents of Cambridge for these many years. So thank you. I could not be more honored.
As we move toward the end of this wonderful experience, we would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge and give this wonderful bouquet of flowers to Kate Champion Murphy. Thank you for so much you do to keep Brian's legacy alive. Joe, there may be a seat vacant in a couple of years. You know, you might want to come try out. Don't tell your mother I said that. But on behalf of a very grateful city, I'd like to present you with these flowers. Are you going to close this out?
Okay, congratulations again to Suzanne, a wonderful colleague and a wonderful example to us all of dedicated service to public service. So that more or less completes the program for today, but before we all rush off home, there are a couple of things I need to do. There are a lot of people who operate behind the scenes here. Jan and I, and indeed the mayor, if I'd be so bold to say so, we just come up here at the end of all of the planning that people have done for weeks before this. And so I wanted just to acknowledge the selection committee first. There were 120 people who were nominated for the award this year. And so the dedication, or the selection committee worked for weeks on end so as to identify our award winners today. And so the selection committee consists of Velasco Alves, Stefana Anwar, Deirdre Travis Brown. Deirdre is here. Ray Catchings, Ray is here as well this afternoon. John Ardone, I think John is upstairs someplace, or was a few minutes ago. Matt, of course, Matt, who's involved in everything associated with this. And Nancy Tolber from the Human Services Department. The organisers of today's event included Emmett Vorspan from the Human Relations Department. They stole him from the Executive Office, and we haven't forgiven them as of yet. Mia Filler from the Executive Office, Stacey, Matt again, and Valeska. And of course, there's support staff from others in the City Manager's Office, from the Public Works Department, who set the room up and who will assemble it within literally 5 minutes of us departing today. The Communications Department, the Office of Equity and Inclusion, Human Resources. Calvin at 2022, he's in a box up there at this point in time that none of us ever see. Chris and the IT Department. Colin obviously was otherwise engaged today, so Colin wasn't participating today, but he's working behind the scenes. And then Kate at the Office of Disabilities. Again, closed captioning happens here, and because of all of the work people do. And so there's food outside, and that's been provided by Dado Tea and Super Roll-Up Cafe. Finally, I want to acknowledge Kyle, who's been up and down for the last 3 hours, and so he's gotten his workout for today. And so before you all leave, it's important that those who've received awards today just stay with us for a few seconds. We want to take a group photograph or two, and so if you can do that, that would be great. Again, thank you very much, everybody, for being here. It's been a wonderful occasion. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, everyone. Have a pleasant weekend.
Thank you very much.